Hi ladies, it's Hillary with I'm Like Brave, a blog all about creating an uncommon life you love with your family through entrepreneurship. Each week I interview a creative entrepreneur that I admire so that we can all hear the behind the scenes of how the business got started and what it takes to run a successful small business. So I hope you guys love our interview today with Megan Birkel, owner of Willow Crowns. Hi Megan.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. So before we get started about business, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, so I'm originally from Maine, and I met my husband in the seventh grade. He was my very first boyfriend, and we dated for 3 days, and we ended up reconnecting in high school and moving to Boston for 4 years after we got married.
Okay.
And just a couple years ago, he took a job in Houston, Texas, and that's where we are now.
Okay.
And while I had originally been working as a nutritionist, when my daughter was born, I decided to be a stay-at-home mom, and I've been doing that for the past 2.5 years.
Okay, awesome. Cool. And so how did Willow Crowns come to be? Like going from nutritionist to stay-at-home mom? Tell us about it.
So a lot of change. And I was making headbands for Olivia anyway, because if one more person told me what a beautiful little boy I had, I was going to snap. So I was making headbands for her anyway, and they were horrible, but I was making them and I was enjoying it. And when we moved to Texas, she was about 8 months old, and my husband's new job was very, very long hours, and I just didn't know a soul, and I was just looking for something for myself. I was really homesick, and I was having a hard time meeting people, and I was looking for something to do after she went to bed at night while I was waiting for my husband to come home. So I thought, well, I'm already making these headbands. Maybe I'll throw a few out on Etsy and see if anybody bites and see if anyone wants to buy them. So that was how it initially came about.
Okay. And so what did those so you've been in business for 18 months, right? What did those first months look like for you?
So the first month was pretty quiet. I think a lot of new Etsy sellers can probably relate. You're really still finding your groove. Your photography is probably not that good. Maybe even the products aren't that great. I mean, I look back at my original products and it's embarrassing. So it was pretty quiet. But after about a month, I started seeing some business come in, and the more I worked on my photography and worked on the product and networking with other people, it really started to grow.
Okay, cool. So what's your big why for why you have Willow Crowns? Like what are your lifestyle goals that you have, and how will your business contribute to that?
So, I started it to have something that was mine, and that it really nurtures my soul. I know that sounds corny, but having something for myself that is separate from motherhood or separate from, being a wife to my husband, it's really nice to have something for myself. So Willow Crowns really contributes to my well-being.
Okay.
But it's also really allowed me this unique ability to contribute to our family in multiple ways. I'm contributing by staying home with my daughter and raising her, but I'm also able to contribute financially, and that's been a real blessing.
That's awesome. So what would you say has been the biggest lesson that you've learned along the way of being a business owner?
So it took me a little while to really find my groove, I would say, to find or really stay true to my vision. You see there's so many accessory shops out there. You see people doing this and doing that, and you want to do that, or you want to do this. You see them having success, you want to try it. So for me, finding and listening to my voice and my vision has been huge. That's been really the big thing for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I totally relate to that, especially as like a new shop. It just takes like a couple of months, or maybe like 6 to 6 months to a year to
I
really
would
find your groove?
say it took me a solid year. I feel like this past fall, I really turned the corner. And since we've really narrowed in on our brand and what we're all about, that's when the business really starts to take off.
That's awesome. So what would you say what is your biggest business strength? If you were to teach a college on entrepreneurship, what would the subject be and what would you teach us?
So one of my big strengths is just organization. I love a schedule. I love being organized. I love structure. And even if you're just kind of starting a small Etsy shop, I treated it like a job. I had a schedule. I had hours. Like, we still have things that we do on Mondays, that we do on Tuesdays.
Cool.
It's very organized, and that has allowed us to really stay focused and, continue to grow.
That's really, really good advice, I feel like, especially for those of us that are stay-at-home moms and business owners. Like,
Yeah.
It's so easy to kind of just do a little here and a little there, but like if you have a set, I talked about this a while ago, but like a set weekly schedule where no matter what, without fail, each week on Monday mornings, you do this part of the business. You make sure everything's accounted for, and you also schedule in time with your kids and for yourself and with your husband. I feel like that's great.
No, I agree. It's huge. It's really important.
Cool. So what would you say has been the best decision that you guys have ever made for Willow Crowns?
So the best decision, and she will love this, is hiring my best friend, Stephanie, to be part of the Willow Crowns team. And she officially came on board last fall, so fall 2014.
Okay.
And, at that point, that was just when the business was starting to ramp up, and I was kind of needing... I couldn't have an extra set of hands because she lives across the country from me, but having just an extra person, she does so much for us and really simplifies what I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So hiring her has been the best decision. I don't think we could grow the way we have been without having her behind the scenes, running the website and giving me her brutal honesty on whether a product is good or not, and handling customer questions and all that. So bringing her on board has been fantastic.
Okay, so give me a breakdown of what she does and what you do.
So I handle the creative end. So new product design, any kind of collection. Like, we just launched a little 4th of July capsule collection. I design those. Anything, like any major business decisions, I make those. I handle our Instagram account, our branding. She is running the website, so all of our listing descriptions, she does that. And if you've ever had to list a full collection on a website before, you know how time consuming that is. And she just totally takes that off my hands.
Uh-huh.
She monitors our stock during a collection launch. So she'll be on the phone with me the second we launch, and she'll say, okay, this item just sold out. Are we going to restock it? Are we not? And I can just give her a yes or no and a quantity. Instead of having to actually log in and do it, I'm able to really focus on getting those orders packaged, getting them out the door, and keeping our turnaround time as short as possible.
Okay.
So she's really, I call her my director of operations.
Okay.
She really runs the site. And when people email about retail, wholesale inquiries and stuff like that, she responds to them with our line sheets and our pricing. And if a customer has a question, she'll respond to them if I'm not able to. So she just she's got her hands in a little bit of everything.
Okay. So that sounds really great to have.
Yeah, it's nice.
Do you guys do a lot of wholesale?
We don't do a ton. We do a little bit here and there, and I would love to see us do some more of that.
Okay. So what would you say is the best, you say like when you first start up, you try so many different things, but also when you're marketing, you try so many different things. What is the best kind of marketing decision you feel like you've made, or the thing that works best for Willow Crowns?
So the thing that works best for us is Instagram. And I'm sure a lot of people say that, but, I think, before social media, word of mouth was, the way businesses grew. And this is like digital word of mouth. You have a friend who posts a picture of them in one of our headbands and their friends say, oh, where did you get that? I love it. And all they have to do is tag us, and someone new is following and seeing everything that we're putting out there. So Instagram it's literally almost our only source of advertising. We have a Facebook page that Stephanie reminds me that I neglect. And but really Instagram, I can't stress enough how much social media has made a difference.
Okay. So can you give us do you have specific Instagram marketing methods that you use, or just like trying to keep things going? And
no, so it's actually pretty, I won't say calculated, but it's very deliberate. Mm-hmm. So we post a mix of my personal stuff with a mix of the business stuff. So we want people to see the products, and we want, obviously our criteria for photos is light, bright, crisp shot, good angle, all those things. But we also like to deliberately post parts of my life on Instagram so that people feel like they know us and they know who is behind the business, because we feel like that personal connection is what, helps breed a really loyal customer base.
Totally. Okay. That's like what I remember when I interviewed Hudson and Ruthie, Amanda, she said the same thing. She said, like, keeping it, I feel like so many shops are either like, are they personal and business, or are they strictly business with a private personal account? Like, I still can't decide which one I want to choose, but right now I'm the same as you.
I like it.
Yeah. I think it's a good, especially when it's on Instagram, because it just is so social, and like, a lot of people follow you because they like you too as well, and they want to see your life. So what's the one thing that you'd like to know right now that if you figured it out, it would take Willow Crowns to the next level?
So the one thing I really want to do, and I kind of have my sights set on this for the next year, is to figure out how to make our own lace. Oh, so kind of our signature, I think what we're most well known for is our lace headbands. That's kind of our signature thing. And we source our lace from a supplier, and it's not common to see other people use our lace, but it happens occasionally because it's out there. It's available for sale. Anybody can buy it if they find it. So I would really love to figure out how to make our own so that it is just ours, it's unique to us, and it's just Willow Crowns.
Wow, that would be awesome. How do you even begin to do that?
I have no idea. So I have to sit down and kind of rack my brain and find some new resources for that.
Yeah, that would be really great, I feel like, because, that would just really differentiate yourself from so many shops.
Yeah.
Wow, cool. You'll have to let us know how that goes.
I will. I'll tell you if I can find the secret.
Yeah. So if you could sit down with one entrepreneur for coffee and ask them anything you want, who would it be and why?
So I would love to chat with Lauren Conrad, because
that's a good one.
First of all, I just loved her. If you didn't, watch The Hills or Laguna Beach or whatever, I did when I was in college. But I just think she's got affordable stuff. She's got high-end stuff. She's got so many different collaborations. And I just would love to pick her brain to figure out, why she partners with who she partners with. And I don't know. She has a collaboration with Rifle Paper Company, but she also just did like a Minnie Mouse themed line for Kohl's. Like, just two such different ends of the spectrum. I would love to just get her thoughts on why those collaborations and, how she does things.
Yeah. I didn't know that about her and Rifle.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. I know I have a couple like dream people on my list of who I want to interview, and she's one of them.
Yeah.
That would be so cool. So what motivates you in general for business? Just what keeps you up at night and makes you keep wanting to work on building Willow Crowns?
So, a couple of things. One is the success. Like, the more success you get, I think the more that you want. Not to sound like, greedy or anything, but, it feels good. It's very validating to have people want to buy your products. And, to see them sell out when you launch, that I think keeps me motivated. And then also, I really want, my daughter and our future kids to be proud, of whatever it is I choose to do. I want them to be like, oh, my mom did this. Like, she did this by herself. This was her, other baby. I want them to feel like I've done something that they can look up to. So,
Totally.
Growing the business, for that, just to set an example for our kids is really motivating.
That's awesome. So any parting advice to all of the entrepreneurs watching and those people that are considering taking the plunge and starting their own business?
So I think a couple of things. The first one is, and like I said, it took me a little bit of time to figure this out, but really to figure out what it is you are good at and what you feel passionate about, and letting, your voice really guide you and not getting too caught up in what other people are doing. And then the other piece of advice would be, once you figure that out, just don't stop doing it. You will always get better. There will always be improvements, but only if you keep hammering away at it every day. Like, my photography was just so bad when I started out, and now it's pretty good. Just things like that will, make your business grow. I think you just have to get up every day excited about the business and work on it every single day, even if you're feeling discouraged.
That is great advice, Megan. I definitely agree about the finding what you're passionate about too, because when business does get slow or problems come up, if you're truly not passionate about what you're doing, it's so hard to keep going.
It's really easy to throw in the towel.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, this was awesome. Where can we find you on Instagram and your website?
So our website is just willowcrowns.com.
Okay.
And Instagram is just at willowcrowns, all one word. And you can find me over there kind of documenting life with a 2-year-old and a little bit of business thrown in the mix.
Cool. Well, I really appreciate you taking your time to be open and honest and share a little bit more about the behind the scenes of Willow Crowns. And I hope you guys learned a ton from Megan. And have a great day, guys. Bye.